in many ways, John chapter 11, verses 38 to 44, are the first climax, right? They represent the first climax of the Gospel of John, and this is Jesus raising Lazarus from the dead. I say the first climax because the true and ultimate climax will be God raising Jesus from the dead in chapter 20. And there are a couple elements of foreshadowing here that are very important. One, we're told that the tomb is in a cave and that there is a stone at the front of it. And the same thing will be true in chapter 20 and verse 1, that Jesus' body is laid in a tomb that's got a stone blocking the entrance. Jesus says, take away the stone. And that will again, when the disciple whom Jesus loved, who we believe to be John and Peter and Mary Magdalene, all come to the tomb in chapter 20, the stone is already rolled away. Just like Lazarus, Jesus' body was wrapped in grave cloths, but in chapter 20, there's no body there in the tomb. And here, though, and our verse for the day is verse 44, when Jesus had called Lazarus out, and it says, the dead man came out, his hands and feet bound with strips of cloth, and his face wrapped in a cloth. Jesus said to them, unbind him and let him go. And obviously this miracle, this seventh and climactic sign that Jesus does in revealing his identity as the Son of God, he has the power, the one who opened the eyes of the blind, to raise even Lazarus from the dead. And Jesus, of course, will not need any human help to be unbound from the grave cloths that bound him. He will be free simply by the power of God. So I always think of this passage, and I alluded to this in my sermon. You and I may not be bound by grave cloths right at this moment, but there are things that bind us, that restrict us, that prevent us from living life as Jesus and as God desire and intend for us to live it. And one of the things that faith does is it gives us the hope, it gives us the conviction that whatever it is that is binding me, that is preventing me from living life fully, Jesus has the power to loosen it. And so I encourage you to look at your own life, and it could be a fear of some kind. It could be a fear of death. It could be a fear of the loss of an important relationship. It could be a financial fear. It could be fear related to addiction or a child or a grandchild, a whole host of things. Whatever it is that may be causing you to be fearful and bound in that, invite Jesus to unbind you and let you go.